Chapter 41. Place it where your heart is. The three of them arrived at the entrance of a villa. Lin Tai pulled a key from his pocket and unlocked the door. This villa was situated far to the west, in a quiet area devoid of any traces of Lin's blood clan members. Amid the shadows of the dense forest, the villa's door creaked open, revealing only darkness within. From the outside, Su Zhe peered in, but the interior was pitch black, the details obscured. A faint glint flickered in his eyes. He activated his vampire vision. A blood-red haze blanketed his sight, revealing the room's layout in vivid clarity. Vampire vision worked much like night vision goggles, highlighting the unseen. However, everything appeared overlaid with a faint crimson hue, which, though slightly disorienting, didn't hinder perception too much. Scanning the villa, Su Zhe noticed its sparse interior. At the center stood a grand marble staircase, flanked by wide corridors leading to the living room. The ceiling light was off, likely due to long neglect. As Lin Tai pushed the door open, a wave of dust rose, filling the air. Lin Tai frowned, but swiftly extended his right hand. With a sharp sound, blood-red energy formed in his palm, swirling and expanding until it was the size of a dinner plate. With a flick of his wrist, the energy unfurled into a fine, shimmering net that captured the dust midair. In an instant, the entrance hall and front vestibule were spotless, revealing their former splendor. Su Zhe watched in awe. He had never imagined blood energy could be used so creatively. It's like something straight out of a cultivation novel, Su Zhe thought to himself. Blood energy seemed akin to spiritual power in those stories, capable of achieving anything with the right intent, as if turning decay into magic. Satisfied with the villa's now pristine state, Lin Tai smiled and turned to Lin Shiqing. Xiaoqing, you can rest here for now. I'll fetch some fresh blood and return shortly. Lin Tai placed a reassuring hand on Lin Shiqing's shoulder before stepping into the forest. Thank you, Uncle Tai. Lin Shiqing forced a smile, her earlier gloom over Yi Hui's situation lingering. Su Zhe watched Lin Tai disappear into the woods. He's a very attentive uncle, he remarked thoughtfully. Lin Shiqing nodded. He's always been like this. When I was younger, he'd often carry me through the forest with his blood wings. Blood wings? Su Zhe asked, surprised. Yes. Once a vampire reaches the barren realm, they can manifest blood energy into wings. With them, they can soar freely through the skies. I've always dreamed of becoming a baron one day. Lin Shiqing's eyes sparkled with longing, her words painting vivid images of freedom. Su Zhe nodded thoughtfully, then remembered something he wanted to ask. By the way, I need your advice. I've learned the general structure of your vampire hierarchy, but how can I tell which level I'm at? You call me the last vampire, but where does that put me in terms of strength? He placed a hand on his lower abdomen, where he could feel his blood energy stirring. Over the past day, it had replenished by about a third, bringing him to just over half capacity. Though he knew his blood energy was inferior to Lin Shiqing's, he was curious about his precise rank. Lin Shiqing considered his question before replying. You can determine your strength by learning to look inward. Most vampires judge others' strength by sensing their blood energy fluctuations, but that method isn't entirely reliable. Fluctuations can be suppressed, and judgments can be skewed. She continued, based on your current fluctuations, I'd estimate you're in the early stages of the first level. However, since your blood energy hasn't fully recovered, you might actually be closer to mid or late first level strength. Her explanation made Su Zhe nod in understanding. So how do I look inward, he asked. It's a skill you can develop on your own, but it's faster if someone guides you, Lin Shiqing said. Essentially, you focus your attention on your lower abdomen, where blood energy is stored. In Eastern terms, it's called the blood pill. In the West, it's often referred to as the blood source. Either way, it's the same concept. She paused before adding, when you succeed, you'll see a crescent-shaped blood moon symbol within your blood pill. One waning moon represents the first level, and 9 waning moons indicate the 9th level. When the 9 merge into a full crescent moon, you've reached the barren realm. Su Zhe absorbed the information, feeling slightly overwhelmed. "Let me guide you," Lin Shiqing offered. Taking his hand, she led him through the dark corridor, past the faint smell of decay in the living room, and into a bedroom. The room was bare, save for a bed and a dark brown fur coffin. Dust coated the bed, a sign it hadn't been used in years. "Take off your shirt," Lin Shiqing said matter-of-factly. What?" Su Zhe stammered, caught off guard. "Only the top," she clarified quickly. "You can keep the rest on." "Why do I need to undress to practice inner vision?" he asked, still confused. "You're so clueless," she replied with a sigh. "I need direct skin contact to transfer blood energy into your body. It's not like I can send it through thin air." Her words made Su Zhe picture scenes from martial arts novels, where masters transferred energy through touch. "So, you'll place your hands on my back to guide me?" he guessed. "No," Lin Shiqing corrected. "I'll place them on your chest, near your heart." Su Zhe blinked, startled. The imagery her explanation conjured in his mind was decidedly unconventional. Chapter 42. Drinking blood for the first time. Without further hesitation, Su Zhe pulled off his t-shirt. Whatever was going to happen, he figured it couldn't be worse for him than what he'd already endured. Lin Shiqing maintained a composed demeanor, but inwardly her thoughts wavered. Su Zhe's physique was unexpectedly defined. His smooth, lean muscles seemed perfectly proportioned. Though she tried to remain indifferent, she couldn't deny a flicker of distraction. This was technically her first time seeing an adult man shirtless. Still, Lin Shiqing was no naive girl. At 180 years old, her life experience far surpassed that of most humans, and she quickly forced her thoughts back into focus. "You should lie down on the bed." "Actually, no." She frowned, eyeing the dusty sheets. "Let's move to the living room. It'll be cleaner there." The pair relocated to the living room, where Lin Shiqing used her blood energy to sweep away the dust from the leather sofa. Once it was spotless, Su Zhe sat down, and Lin Shiqing took a seat beside him, leaving a slight gap of about 20 centimeters between them. "All right, let's begin," she said, extending her hand. For reasons she couldn't entirely explain, Lin Shiqing felt an unusual sense of nervousness. Su Zhe, too, was uneasy. The situation felt undeniably awkward, and his body betrayed him. His left chest muscle twitched involuntarily. "Ah!" Lin Shiqing exclaimed, startled. "What's wrong?" Su Zhe asked, perplexed. Why did it move?" she stammered, clearly surprised. He coughed awkwardly. "Just a reflex? I used too much force for a moment. It won't happen again." Lin Shiqing hesitated, but eventually placed her hand against his chest. The sensation startled her. Firm, warm, and utterly foreign. It was so unlike her own. How peculiar, she thought. Pushing aside her thoughts, Lin Shiqing summoned her blood energy and began channeling it into Su Zhe's heart. "Follow my energy," she instructed. "Focus all your attention on it. Close your eyes and try to feel your body from within." Obeying her, Su Zhe shut his eyes and concentrated. Slowly, his awareness sank inward, settling in his lower abdomen. In the darkness of his mind, a faint, blood-red glow appeared. "I see it," he exclaimed. "It's a blood core. It's covered in intricate, fine lines. Just as you described, there's a crescent-shaped waning moon on it. But there's also a second moon forming, a new moon, nearly complete. That means my strength is nearing the second tier. I'm on the verge of advancing past the peak of the first level." Lin Shiqing was astonished. She hadn't expected Su Zhe to grasp inner vision so quickly, especially on his first attempt. While the technique wasn't particularly complex, mastering it to this degree in such a short time was no small feat. Lin Tai, meanwhile, was making his way back to the villa. "Didn't they close the door?" he muttered, shaking his head. "Well, no matter. This place could use some ventilation anyway." As he entered the villa and walked toward the living room, the sight before him made him freeze in place. There was Lin Shiqing, her hand pressed against Su Zhe's chest. He blinked several times, unsure whether to laugh or leave. Ahem! The loud cough jolted Lin Shiqing back to reality. Startled, she withdrew her hand, and with it, her blood energy. "Uncle Tai, why didn't you say you were coming back?" she exclaimed, her cheeks tinged with embarrassment. Lin Tai arched an eyebrow. "I said I'd fetch some blood for you. Did you forget already?" He glanced at Su Zhe, a complicated look crossing his face. The boy was fit, he had to admit, and his face wasn't bad either. No wonder Xiaoqing had taken a liking to him. Still, Lin Tai felt her decision to make Su Zhe a blood slave was impulsive. In his eyes, Su Zhe's blood energy was weak and his potential limited. Turning someone like that was hardly a wise investment. But the deed was done, and there was no undoing it. Su Zhe quickly slipped his shirt back on and stood as Lin Tai approached. The elder vampire held a glass bottle in one hand, filled with about 600 milliliters of dark red blood, and a small suitcase in the other, which contained several goblets. "This," Lin Tai said, placing the items on the table, "is some top-quality blood. Try it." He poured a glass for Lin Shiqing, who walked over and took a sniff. It was good, she admitted inwardly. But after tasting Su Zhe's blood, even the finest vintage seemed bland in comparison. "I'm not really hungry," she said, waving it away. Lin Tai frowned. "Not sweet enough for you? I can add sugar." "It's not that. I just don't feel like drinking right now." Lin Tai sighed, then turned to Su Zhe. He handed the goblet to the younger man. "Normally, blood slaves wouldn't get to taste something this exquisite, but today I'll make an exception. Consider it a treat." Su Zhe hesitated. The smell of blood was strong, invading his senses. Lin Shiqing noticed his reluctance and was about to intervene, but before she could, Su Zhe spoke. "Thank you, Uncle Tai." Taking the goblet, he raised it to his lips. The dark red liquid rippled, pure and unblemished. Without hesitation, he drank it down in one gulp. The taste surprised him. It reminded him of aged red wine, with a subtle metallic tang. It slid smoothly down his throat, leaving no discomfort behind. As the blood settled in his stomach, Su Zhe felt it begin to transform. It flowed into his blood core, replenishing and strengthening his blood energy. For the first time, he truly felt like a vampire. Chapter 43. Enter the clan area. After drinking a glass of blood, Su Zhe felt a surge of vitality. His blood pill gradually refilled, and his blood energy recovered at an accelerated pace. The sensation was strange yet invigorating, as though his very essence was being restored. "Perhaps drinking blood is the most efficient way to replenish my blood energy in the future," he mused. Su Zhe harbored no moral objections to the act. To him, blood was just another form of sustenance. Lin Tai silently took the empty cup from Su Zhe's hand and placed it back into his suitcase. "We'll leave at 9 tonight," Lin Tai said, his gaze lingering on Su Zhe with a cryptic expression before he turned to leave the room. The hall grew quiet again, the silence settling heavily in Su Zhe's mind. Once outside the villa, Lin Tai retrieved his phone and dialed a number. "Xiaohua, there's something you need to know," he began, his voice steady but grave. "Your daughter has embraced a man for the first time." The pause on the other end of the line was palpable. "What?" Lin Xiaohua's voice, laden with disbelief, broke the silence. "Are you certain?" In the Lin clan's ancestral halls, Lin Xiaohua had been immersed in addressing the precarious situation of Yi Hui, a loyal blood servant caught in the web of the clan's rigid laws. The last thing he expected was this revelation. "Would I joke about such a matter?" Lin Tai retorted. "I was planning to report this to you in person, but something compelled me to call immediately. I just witnessed Xiaoqing touching a man's bare chest. And yes, the man in question is the same human you've heard about, the one she performed the first inhalation ceremony with." Lin Xiaohua's grip tightened on the receiver. Why would she keep her first embrace a secret from me? And to do something so reckless? His voice trembled slightly with suppressed anger. Xiaoqing is young and impressionable, Lin Tai reasoned. Sweet words and human charm can easily sway her. This must be corrected swiftly. The clan has already arranged her marriage to Lin Xian. She needs to focus on building that bond and severing ties with the blood slave. Lin Xiaohua's head throbbed as Lin Tai's words hammered home the gravity of the situation. This is not just about her emotions, Lin Tai continued. Marrying Lin Xian is essential for our family's legacy. Combining with a blood slave would taint her bloodline, reducing the purity and strength of the next generation. The family's survival depends on maintaining our lineage's purity. Lin Xiaohua sighed heavily. The weight of clan expectations bore down on him, intertwining with his paternal instincts. I understand. I'll speak with her as soon as possible. This cannot be allowed to continue. As Lin Xiaohua ended the call, a soft voice interrupted his thoughts. What's wrong? Lin Wen, his wife, approached him with concern etched on her face. Her graceful figure belied the centuries they'd spent together. Xiaoqing has embraced a human, he admitted, rubbing the bridge of his nose. And worse, she seems to have developed feelings for him. Lin Wen's eyes widened in disbelief. Why would she make such a reckless choice? She murmured, her voice tinged with sadness. This child. It's not too late to guide her back, Lin Xiaohua reassured. Lin Tai will escort her and the blood slave to the clan territory tonight. Once here, we'll have a serious conversation and put an end to this foolishness. His tone grew sharper. I'm also curious to see the human who dared to enchant her. At 9 o'clock, Lin Tai knocked on the villa door. Xiaoqing, it's time to go, he announced. Lin Shiqing and Su Zhe emerged, appearing refreshed after their brief rest. Su Zhe's blood energy had fully replenished, and Lin Shiqing's pallor had improved. The group of 10, Lin Tai, Lin Shiqing, Su Zhe, and 7 other clan members, set out under the moonlit sky. These clansmen, though unfamiliar to Lin Shiqing, held influential positions within Shintai Pharmaceuticals and were considered vital to the family's operations. The night was tranquil, the last quarter moon casting silvery light over the forested expanse of Silver Moon Mountain. The group moved in silence along a winding path that disappeared into the dense woods. Be cautious, Lin Tai warned. The beasts here are unlike others. Though not overwhelmingly powerful, their ferocity and sudden attacks can be deadly. The beasts of Silver Moon Mountain were rumored to have mutated, their aggression and strength amplified by centuries of exposure to the Lin clan's potent blood aura. Untouched by human development, the area remained a primordial wilderness, a sanctuary for both the clan and its feral guardians. As Su Zhe and Lin Shiqing walked at the front of the procession, tension hung in the air. Each step brought them closer to the clan's domain, and to the conflicts waiting to unfold. Chapter 44, Ghostly Shadow. Lin Shiqing, having grown up in the Lin clan's secluded enclave, was no stranger to the ferocious beasts of Silver Moon Mountain. These were no ordinary creatures. Grizzly bears, wild wolves, tigers, lions, and even cheetahs roamed the area in an inexplicable congregation. Their coexistence, though baffling to outsiders, was simply a fact of life for her. Biologists had once tried to unravel the mystery. How could animals with such vastly different habitats thrive together in one place? They formed expeditions, hypothesized endlessly, and even sacrificed lives, but their efforts yielded nothing concrete. The Lin clan knew the truth, a truth buried in the shadows of history. Centuries ago, when the Lin clan first established its stronghold in Silver Moon Mountain, the landscape was vastly different. According to the records, an ambitious experiment was conducted. Dissatisfied with the power drawn from human blood alone, certain clan members turned to animals, hypothesizing that the blood of beasts might unlock new levels of strength and purity. They captured wild animals from across the globe, grizzlies from the Americas, wolves from Asia, and big cats from Africa, and brought them to Silver Moon Mountain. Blood was harvested, experiments conducted, and ultimately, results were disappointing. Beast blood, far from being a boon, diluted the purity of the vampire bloodline and impeded growth. The failed experiments left behind a strange legacy. The surviving beasts, now released into the wild, adapted and multiplied, thriving in the unique environment of Silver Moon Mountain. Over generations, they became fiercer, mutated by the lingering energies of the Lin clan's presence. These ferocious beasts now served as a natural barrier, deterring human intrusion and even posing a challenge to rival vampire factions. As the group navigated the winding mountain paths, Su Zhe remained alert, his enhanced senses probing the darkness. His sharp gaze caught a python slithering through the undergrowth, chasing a frantic monkey. Watching the scene unfold, he felt a pang of disdain for the monkey. Memories of mischievous monkeys from Mount Amei clouded his judgment, and he silently rooted for the python. The python struck with ruthless efficiency. The monkey's pitiful cries were abruptly silenced as its bones cracked under the constrictor's grip. Su Zhe watched without sympathy. Lin Shiqing, walking beside him, barely reacted. Such was the way of the wild. The strong devoured the weak. Lin Tai, leading the group, maintained a steady pace. His eyes constantly scanned the surroundings, his posture exuding caution. Suddenly, a low growl shattered the calm, followed by a mighty roar. A massive grizzly bear emerged from the forest, its imposing figure illuminated faintly by the moonlight. Not far away, a chorus of howls echoed through the air. A pack of wild wolves appeared on a nearby hill, their eyes glinting with predatory intent. The tension was palpable. It looks like a territorial dispute, Su Zhe mused, intrigued by the rare spectacle. Grizzly bears and wolves, natural adversaries from vastly different regions, clashing here was a testament to the mountain's unnatural ecosystem. The wolves wasted no time, circling the bear with practiced coordination. The grizzly, though outnumbered, stood its ground, its raw power evident in every swipe of its massive claws. Su Zhe watched with fascination, feeling as though he were observing a live episode of the animal kingdom's brutal dance. Lin Tai's voice cut through Su Zhe's thoughts. Focus. We need to move past this area quickly. The group increased their pace, their vampire-enhanced agility, allowing them to traverse the uneven terrain with ease. Even so, Su Zhe struggled to keep up. He could feel his limitations weighing on him, a stark reminder of his need to grow stronger. Then he heard it, a faint whistling sound, almost imperceptible, carried on the wind. His instincts flared. He turned toward the source and spotted it, a shadow, moving impossibly fast, darting through the underbrush. Before he could fully process the danger, the shadow lunged toward Lin Shiqing. Reacting on pure instinct, Su Zhe tackled Lin Shiqing, pushing her to the ground. Pain seared through his back as razor-sharp claws tore into his flesh, ripping out a chunk of skin and muscle. Despite the severity of the injury, Su Zhe barely flinched. The dulled pain was a small mercy of his vampiric transformation. Lin Tai acted immediately. A blood-red light coalesced in his hand, forming an orb of energy. With a sharp motion, he hurled it at the shadow, and a deafening explosion tore through the night. The explosion lit up the forest, sending shockwaves through the trees. The grizzly bear and the wolf pack, startled by the sudden eruption, abandoned their fight and fled into the darkness. Lin Tai strode forward, his expression dark. Activating his vampire vision, he scanned the now motionless shadow. As the smoke cleared, the attacker's form became visible. It was a cheetah, or rather, what was left of one. The creature was unnaturally gaunt, its ribs protruding sharply against its mangy fur. Its eyes, glassy and devoid of life, hinted at something more sinister than mere hunger. Lin Tai's lips pressed into a thin line. A corrupted beast, he muttered, his voice grim. They shouldn't be this bold. Something is unsettling the balance here. Lin Shiqing knelt beside Su Zhe, her expression a mix of worry and gratitude. You saved me, she whispered, her hands hovering over his wound. Su Zhe forced a smirk. It's nothing. Just another day in paradise, right? Lin Tai glanced back at them, his tone sharp. We're not out of danger yet. Keep moving. With a renewed sense of urgency, the group pressed on, the shadows of Silver Moon Mountain seeming darker and more menacing than ever. Chapter 45. Lin Xiaohua's Approval. The skinny cheetah, desperate and enraged by the loss of its family, made one final, futile attack. Its claws had barely grazed Su Zhe before Lin Tai's energy ball obliterated the creature. Blood and mangled remnants of the beast splattered the forest floor, marking the end of its tragic existence. Lin Tai's expression was grim. He knew the attack shouldn't have happened. His oversight had given the cheetah a fleeting opportunity, an error unbefitting someone of his status. The cheetah wasn't ordinary, Lin Tai muttered, surveying the creature's remains. It had mutated, its claws laced with toxins that hinder healing. That's why the wound's taking longer to recover. Su Zhe, still on the ground, felt the ache in his back intensify. Blood energy surged faintly within him, attempting to mend the injury, but the healing process stalled. Despite his growing discomfort, he remained silent, unwilling to show weakness. His strength as a first-level vampire was insufficient for swift recovery, and the toxin's interference only compounded the problem. Lin Shiqing knelt beside him, her face pale with worry. The sight of Su Zhe's torn back filled her with guilt and determination. Activating her blood energy, she attempted to heal the wound, but her efforts proved ineffective. It's fine, Su Zhe said softly, his voice laced with exhaustion. Just a scratch. A scratch? Lin Shiqing's voice trembled. You risked your life to save me. Stop pretending this is nothing. She redoubled her efforts, her blood energy glowing fiercely against the deep wound. The surrounding clan members exchanged skeptical glances. To them, Su Zhe was just a blood servant. His injury, no matter how severe, didn't warrant such concern. Blood servants were tools, disposable and replaceable. Why waste resources on someone so insignificant? Lin Tai's gaze darkened. Xiaoqing, it's not worth the effort. The injury's severe, and the toxins will make healing nearly impossible. Besides, blood servants are easy to replace. Let's leave him. Lin Shiqing's head snapped up, her eyes blazing with fury. Uncle Tai, how can you say that? Su Zhe saved my life. I'll never abandon him. Her words silenced everyone. Su Zhe, lying prone, felt a flicker of warmth despite his pain. Yet, the moment also served as a stark reminder of the precariousness of his position. Without Lin Shiqing's unwavering protection, he would be discarded without hesitation. Lin Shiqing turned her back to Su Zhe and crouched down. Get on. I'll carry you to the clan. Father will heal you. Su Zhe hesitated. I can walk. No arguments. She interrupted, her tone firm. With great effort, Su Zhe climbed on her back. Her slender frame seemed ill-equipped to bear his weight, yet she carried him effortlessly. Her steps were steady, her resolve unshaken. Lin Tai sighed, falling silent as they resumed their journey. He glanced at Lin Shiqing and the injured blood servant she carried. The girl's fierce determination reminded him of her father. Perhaps this matter should be left to Lin Xiaohua to handle. The clan's silhouette emerged against the night sky, a sprawling bastion of power nestled within the mountains. The architecture blended eastern courtyards and western spires, creating a majestic, otherworldly presence. High walls encircled the territory, guarding it like a fortress. We're almost there, Lin Shiqing said, her voice tinged with relief. That's the clan's territory ahead. Su Zhe nodded faintly, his gaze fixed on the imposing structure. It's magnificent, he murmured, his admiration genuine. As they approached the gates, the sentinels atop the towers noticed their arrival. Lin Tai signaled to them, and the gates creaked open. The party entered the clan's domain, greeted by wide avenues and towering buildings. The layout resembled a tree, with the central road acting as the trunk and smaller pathways branching outward. The other vampires bid their farewells and dispersed, leaving only Lin Tai, Lin Shiqing, and Su Zhe. They made their way to Lin Shiqing's home, a grand, three-story castle in the southwest quadrant. Its imposing facade reflected the prominence of her lineage within the clan. Waiting at the entrance was Lin Xiaohua, his stern face illuminated by the warm glow of lanterns. Beside him stood his wife, Lin Wan, her expression a mix of concern and apprehension. Lin Xiaohua's eyes narrowed as he spotted his daughter. His gaze shifted to the white-haired young man on her back, and his expression darkened further. A blood servant? Being carried by his daughter? The audacity! Lin Tai hurried forward, intercepting his brother before the brewing storm could erupt. He quickly recounted the events of their journey, emphasizing Su Zhe's act of selflessness. Lin Xiaohua's anger ebbed as he listened. He studied Su Zhe again, this time with a more discerning eye. The young man had risked his life to protect Lin Shiqing. Perhaps he wasn't as insignificant as a typical blood servant. Lin Shiqing approached her father, her voice resolute. "Father, Su Zhe saved me. Please help him." Lin Xiaohua sighed heavily. "Bring him inside." Relief washed over Lin Shiqing's face. She carried Su Zhe through the castle's grand doors, determined to ensure his survival. For the first time, Su Zhe felt the weight of Lin Xiaohua's gaze. It wasn't the dismissive look he'd expected, but something more contemplative. Perhaps he had earned a sliver of approval, but he knew his true battle for acceptance had only just begun. Chapter 46, He is My Good Friend. As Lin Tai and Lin Xiaohua spoke in hushed tones outside, Lin Shiqing gently helped Su Zhe toward the door of her home. Her mother, Lin Wan, appeared at the entrance, her expression a mix of concern and curiosity. Su Zhe, leaning heavily on Lin Shiqing for support, took a moment to study Lin Wan. Despite her youthful appearance, her graceful demeanor exuded maturity. Her beauty was striking, her every movement radiating an elegance that commanded attention. She seemed untouched by time, like a perfectly ripened fruit. Lin Wan approached them quickly. "Xiaoqing, are you hurt?" she asked, her tone brimming with motherly concern. "I'm fine, Mom," Lin Shiqing reassured her. "But Su Zhe, he's in trouble." She adjusted her grip on him and added, "Mom, this is Su Zhe. I've embraced him. He's my good friend." Lin Wan's brows furrowed. "Good friend? Xiaoqing, he's just a blood servant. How can you be so foolish? Didn't I warn you about the risks of your first embrace? It's a serious matter, and you've gone and wasted it on a human?" "Mom," Lin Shiqing interrupted firmly. "Su Zhe is not just a blood servant. To me, he's an equal, my dearest friend, and he saved my life today. Please let me explain everything that has happened." As Lin Shiqing spoke, she turned Su Zhe slightly to reveal his mangled back. Lin Wan's eyes widened, her hand flying to her mouth in shock. "What happened to him?" "We were ambushed by a mutated cheetah," Lin Shiqing explained. "It attacked me, but Su Zhe intervened and took the blow. His back was shredded, and Uncle Tai said the cheetah's claws carried toxins, making the wounds resistant to healing. I tried to use my blood energy to help, but it's not enough. We need Father's Baron-level blood energy to heal him properly." Lin Wan's stern expression softened. She studied Su Zhe, now pale and weakened but resolute. Her initial impression of him as a manipulative opportunist began to waver. "Let me try," Lin Wan said after a moment. "I'm not as strong as your father, but I'll do what I can." Lin Wan moved behind Su Zhe, her hand glowing with crimson energy. She directed it toward his ravaged back. Almost immediately, the torn flesh began to mend, new tissue knitting together over the exposed bone. Lin Shiqing's face lit up with hope as she saw the miraculous progress. But before Lin Wan could continue, a commanding voice interrupted. "Xiaowen, stop. What are you doing?" Lin Xiaohua's tone was sharp as he strode into the hall. Lin Wan froze, her blood energy dissipating as she turned to face him. Lin Xiaohua's gaze was cold and unyielding. You shouldn't act so hastily. Before we do anything more, we need answers. Lin Tai, having fulfilled his role as a messenger, quietly slipped away, leaving Lin Xiaohua to handle the situation. Lin Shiqing's eyes flashed with defiance, but she held her tongue as her father addressed Su Zhe directly. Come inside, Lin Xiaohua said, his tone leaving no room for argument. We don't air family matters in the open. Lin Shiqing helped Su Zhe inside, guiding him into the dimly lit hall. The flickering glow of candlelight cast long shadows, amplifying the tension in the room. Lin Xiaohua gestured for them to stop and turned to face Su Zhe with a penetrating stare. Su Zhe, is it? Lin Xiaohua's voice was low and dangerous. You're going to answer my questions, and you'd better be honest. If you lie, I'll throw you back outside to be devoured by the beasts. Do you understand? Su Zhe met Lin Xiaohua's gaze, his own expression steady despite the weight of the older man's presence. He had anticipated this confrontation, but it didn't make it any less daunting. Yes, Su Zhe replied, his voice calm but firm. I understand. Lin Xiaohua's eyes narrowed slightly. Good. Then let's begin. Chapter 47. This is my bottom line. Xiaoqing, step aside. I need to have a word with him. Alone, Lin Xiaohua commanded, his tone sharp and resolute. Dad, Su Zhe is hurt. Can't this wait until after he's been treated? Lin Shiqing shot back, her voice tinged with frustration. No, it cannot, Lin Xiaohua replied firmly. There are matters I must address immediately. But rest assured, since he saved you, I won't harm him as long as he speaks truthfully. Lin Shiqing opened her mouth to argue, but Lin Wen intervened, placing a calming hand on her daughter's shoulder. Xiaoqing, let your father handle this, Lin Wen said gently. You're young and kind-hearted, but that also makes it easier for others to take advantage of you. Trust us to ensure his intentions are genuine. Mom, Su Zhe isn't like that. He's risked his life to protect me more than once, Lin Shiqing retorted, her voice rising. Shiqing, Su Zhe interrupted, his tone steady. It's all right. Let me speak with your father. I'll be fine. Her eyes darted between him and Lin Xiaohua, reluctant to leave. Finally, she sighed. Fine. But if anything happens, call me immediately. I won't let him hurt you. Su Zhe gave her a faint smile. I appreciate it. Lin Wen guided a reluctant Lin Shiqing to an adjacent room, leaving Su Zhe alone with Lin Xiaohua in the cavernous, dimly lit living room. Lin Xiaohua stood silent for a moment, studying Su Zhe with an intensity that could crush lesser men. Finally, he spoke. Are you truly not afraid that I might kill you? His voice was low, almost a growl. Uncle, Su Zhe replied evenly, if you intended to kill me, you would have done so already. Begging for my life now would change nothing. Lin Xiaohua's gaze sharpened, his lips curling into a smirk. You're bold, I'll give you that. But boldness without wisdom is a shortcut to the grave. Su Zhe straightened despite the pain in his body. With all due respect, I don't see this as a matter of boldness or wisdom. I'm just being honest. You're a man who values truth, aren't you? Lin Xiaohua's smirk faltered for a moment, replaced by a glimmer of curiosity. How did you meet my daughter? Spare no details. Su Zhe took a deep breath and began. I'm a student at Manhwa University. Shiqing and I first connected through WeChat about half a month ago. At first, she seemed like an ordinary girl, kind and intelligent. She invited me to her home, and I accepted. He paused, gauging Lin Xiaohua's reaction before continuing. That's when I discovered her true nature. She revealed she was a vampire, and I was terrified. At first, she intended to kill me to keep her secret, but something made her spare me. From that moment on, we formed an unlikely bond. In time, our relationship grew deeper, not romantically, but as friends. I agreed to stay by her side, and I've done so willingly. I would protect her with my life if needed. That's why I didn't hesitate on the mountain road today, even knowing the risk to myself. Lin Xiaohua crossed his arms, his expression unreadable. And her first embrace? What of that? That was her decision, Su Zhe admitted. She believed it necessary for my survival in certain situations. I didn't ask for it, but I accepted it because I trust her. Su Zhe held Lin Xiaohua's gaze, his voice unwavering. Shiqing is lonely, so she's been isolated, even from her family. I want to be there for her, to give her someone she can rely on. That's all I wish for. Lin Xiaohua fell silent, his sharp eyes locked on Su Zhe as if trying to pierce through any deception. After what felt like an eternity, he spoke. You're either the most cunning liar I've ever encountered, or you're being entirely truthful. Su Zhe met his gaze calmly. I have no reason to lie. You'd see through it anyway. Lin Xiaohua turned away, his expression conflicted. In Su Zhe's words, he saw sincerity, an honesty that was difficult to fake. And while the human was far from his equal, there was something about his presence that gave Lin Xiaohua pause. Very well, Lin Xiaohua said finally. I'll spare you for now, but there is one condition. Su Zhe straightened, bracing himself for what was to come. You must promise me this, Lin Xiaohua continued, his voice steely. Your relationship with Shiqing must remain strictly platonic. She is already engaged to a 13th-generation blood clan member, and her future lies within the clan. Any deviation from this understanding, and you will face consequences. Su Zhe nodded slowly. I understand, sir. My only priority is Shiqing's safety. I will not cross that line. Lin Xiaohua's expression softened, if only slightly. Good. This is my bottom line. Remember it. Chapter 48. Lin Wen sees through everything. Lin Xiaohua sat in silence, his mind churning with conflict. For centuries, their family adhered to unyielding traditions and never once had a blood master and a blood servant fallen in love. The mere thought was unthinkable, a disgrace. Yet, as a father, his heart yearned for his daughter's happiness, a sentiment that clashed sharply with his deeply ingrained beliefs. Lin Xiaohua had always hoped Lin Shiqing would marry someone she genuinely cared for. The idea of forcing her into a loveless marriage, even to a powerful 13th-generation bloodline, felt unbearable. He knew all too well the hollow ache of unrequited love. In his youth, he had faced a similar struggle. From the moment he met Lin Wen, he had been captivated by her. For decades, he pursued her, enduring countless family obligations and expectations. They shared missions, conversations, and moments that deepened their bond until they finally pledged their lives to each other. Their love had been a battle against tradition. Lin Xiaohua had defied the family's wishes, rejecting an arranged engagement to marry Lin Wen. But his circumstances were different. He and Lin Wen were of equal standing, both 12th-generation vampires. Su Zhe, by contrast, was a blood servant, a match that could only invite ridicule and scorn. Still, he could not ignore the sincerity in Su Zhe's actions or the happiness his daughter exuded when she was with him. Lin Xiaohua sighed deeply, his resolve softening. Perhaps it was time to let go of his pride and let his daughter chart her own course. If Su Zhe proved himself worthy, perhaps he could accept this union, despite the whispers it might provoke. His moment of reflection was interrupted by a knock at the door. Rising swiftly, he crossed the room and opened it. A middle-aged vampire with a sturdy build stood outside, his expression filled with excitement. Brother Hua, the man said, there's been a breakthrough in Yi Hui's situation. The Elders' Council is willing to make an exception, but there are conditions. They've asked to see you immediately. Lin Xiaohua's eyes widened. Are you certain? I'm sure, the man nodded. But they need your agreement first. I see. Give me a moment to settle things here, and I'll come at once, Lin Xiaohua replied, his tone resolute. Returning to the living room, Lin Xiaohua's gaze fell on Su Zhe, who stood upright despite his injuries. Blood seeped through the makeshift bandages on his back, soaking into his clothes. Yet Su Zhe did not falter. His hands clenched tightly, and his body trembled slightly, but his eyes burned with unwavering determination. Lin Xiaohua couldn't help but feel a flicker of admiration. Despite his disdain for Su Zhe's status, the young man's resilience was undeniable. He approached Su Zhe and placed a firm hand on his shoulder. "Remember what I told you," he said gravely. With that, Lin Xiaohua turned and headed toward the guest room. "Xiaowen," he called his wife, "please tend to Su Zhe's wounds. I must go to the Elders' Council immediately. I'll return late tonight. Also, see to it that Su Zhe is given a place to stay." Lin Wen appeared moments later, Lin Shiqing close behind her. "I understand," Lin Wen said. "Go quickly, don't keep them waiting." Lin Xiaohua nodded and left the house in haste. As soon as the door closed, Su Zhe's strength gave out. He staggered, collapsing onto the sofa. Blood streamed from his back, soaking into his clothes and pooling beneath him. Lin Shiqing rushed to his side, her face pale with worry. "Why did you push yourself so far?" she scolded, her voice trembling. "You're hurt? What were you thinking?" "It's nothing," Su Zhe said weakly, forcing a smile. "I've been through worse." "Don't lie to me," Lin Shiqing snapped. "Look at you. The wound is worse than before, and it's all because of my father's stubbornness." "Enough, Shiqing, let me handle this," Lin Wen interjected calmly. "Su Zhe needs treatment, not your nagging." Lin Shiqing stepped aside reluctantly, watching as her mother moved a chair beside Su Zhe and began channeling her blood energy. A faint, intoxicating scent filled the air as Lin Wen raised her hand. A crimson glow enveloped her palm, casting soft light over Su Zhe's wounds. The energy seeped into his torn flesh, knitting it back together with supernatural precision. As Lin Wen worked, her gaze lingered on Su Zhe's face. His features were calm despite the pain, his loyalty to her daughter unmistakable. Earlier, Lin Shiqing had spoken at length about Su Zhe, his bravery, his talent for music, and his unyielding determination to protect her. For the first time, Lin Wen felt her suspicions ease. This young man had risked everything for her daughter, and not out of obligation, but out of love. Lin Wen's lips curved into a faint smile. She had seen through everything. Su Zhe wasn't perfect, nor was he a traditional match for Lin Shiqing. But his devotion was real, and his feelings were pure. Perhaps it was time to trust her daughter's instincts. After all, who better to choose her own happiness than Lin Shiqing herself? Chapter 49, Awaiting Trial. The dungeon was cold and damp, the air thick with the stench of decay and despair. In a shadowed corner, a frail figure huddled, his face marked by a profound sorrow. Yihui stared blankly ahead, his mind a tumult of memories and regrets. The events of 5 days ago played relentlessly in his mind, the night the Western vampires attacked. The clash had been nothing short of apocalyptic. Dozens of Western vampires descended upon them, their assault drenching the sky in crimson as blood magic clashed with energy orbs and the ground erupted in violent explosions. As part of the defense, Yihui had led a small team of blood slaves into battle, managing to kill one attacker and wound 3 others. Victory had seemed within reach until disaster struck. In his final moments, a Western vampire unleashed a sacrificial strike, consuming his remaining blood essence to launch a devastating attack. A searing beam of energy pierced Lin Ming's heart, killing her instantly. Everything happened so fast. There was no time to react. As Lin Ming fell, Yihui felt an inexplicable shift within himself, a liberation so sudden it was almost disorienting. The spiritual shackles that had bound him for centuries dissolved in an instant. He was free. Yet freedom brought no relief. His face drained of color as a chilling realization struck him. The death of a blood master meant execution for their blood slaves. And as Lin Ming's sole slave, Yihui knew his fate was sealed. The days since had been a blur of isolation and reflection in the dungeon's oppressive darkness. Memories of Lin Ming filled his thoughts, unbidden but persistent. She had been the one who deceived him, ensnaring him with her tender smiles and gentle words. Yet when he saw her fall, He felt neither the satisfaction of revenge nor the weight of hatred. Instead, there was only numbness, as if it had all been an illusion. Was this Stockholm Syndrome? He wondered. After all the pain she caused him, why did he feel this aching nostalgia? The more he dwelled on it, the more unsettling it became. He had imagined that her death would bring him relief, like the heroes in stories who vanquish their tormentors and find peace. But reality was more complicated. He shook his head, trying to dispel his confusion. Perhaps he didn't hate Lin Meng as much as he thought. Perhaps he had grown so used to being under her control that he had come to accept it. To live as her slave had become second nature. The bitter irony of this realization made him smile faintly. Whatever the truth, it didn't matter anymore. Death awaited him, and he had resigned himself to it. Oddly, the thought of death felt comforting now. He recalled a night long ago when he was just 18. By candlelight, he had held Lin Meng in his arms, making foolish promises. Her body had been cold, but her crescent moon eyes and sweet smile had warmed his heart. Even now, despite the lies and manipulation, he couldn't deny that he had loved her. How naive he had been. But sometimes, love was like that, a selfless surrender, even when you knew it was hopeless. The foul air of the dungeon filled his lungs, and Yihui closed his eyes, letting the darkness pull him under. Meanwhile, in the Lin clan's tower. The towering structure of the Lin clan presided over the heart of their domain, a Gothic marvel that rose 13 stories into the sky. Its sharp spire, carved from purple stone, was the highest point in the region, adorned with ancient Eastern symbols that lent it an enigmatic aura. Inside, on the third floor, a group of Lin clan elders gathered in a grand hall, their presence commanding respect. Wrinkles lined their faces, a testament to centuries of existence, but their status as 10th-generation vampires marked them as less powerful compared to the clan's ancient elites. The truly powerful, the 8th and 9th-generation vampires, were nearing the end of their millennia-long lives. To stave off the inevitable, these viscounts sought breakthroughs to extend their existence, leaving the clan's daily affairs in the hands of their less experienced descendants. Seated at a long table were 9 elders, facing Lin Xiaohua, who sat composed and serious. Lin Xiaohua, began Lin Maching, the elder at the center, his voice steady and authoritative. We've deliberated on Yi Hui's case and decided to make an exception. His contributions during the recent battle cannot be ignored, and his efforts, along with your actions, were instrumental in slaying 2 Western vampires. The clan acknowledges his loyalty. Lin Maching paused, his gaze sharp. Therefore, we've decided to spare Yi Hui's life. However, Lin Xiaohua tensed, knowing the critical condition was about to be revealed. Yi Hui has been managing the Lin Group's operations, correct? Maching asked, shifting the subject. Yes, for over 20 years, Lin Xiaohua replied, his voice steady despite the sudden change. Memories of those years flashed through his mind. 20 years ago, Yi Hui had been entrusted with overseeing the Lin Group in Binhai. Under his leadership, the company thrived, its profits soaring. 10 years ago, Xiaohua had sent his niece, Lin Shiqing, to Binhai, hoping she could escape the isolation of clan life. Though she lived among humans, her interactions remained limited, her world small and insulated. Regret flickered in Xiaohua's heart. He had been too busy to offer her the support she needed, and time had slipped away faster than he could grasp. Pushing aside his emotions, he turned his focus back to Lin Maching, bracing himself for what came next. Chapter 50. Hope of Life. What we mean is this. Lin Maching's voice was calm, but resolute. Yi Hui will remain in Binhai to manage the Lin Group, but he will never return to the clan. If he agrees, his life will be spared. However, he must drink the thrall potion. Lin Xiaohua's eyes narrowed at the mention of the potion. He knew exactly what it was, a cruel concoction laced with a slow-acting poison. Once ingested, the drinker required an antidote every 3 months to survive. Without it, death was inevitable. The Lin clan often used the thrall potion to control influential humans, business tycoons, or officials ensnared in their schemes. With this leash, the clan could bend their pawns to its will, ensuring unwavering loyalty. And now, it seemed, the elders intended to use it on Yi Hui. Yi Hui's sharp mind and proven business acumen had made him invaluable. The wealth he generated in the human world was a cornerstone of the Lin clan's power. But their decision to spare him wasn't born of compassion. It was a calculated move. His exile to Binhai served another purpose: containment. Far from the clan's inner workings, Yi Hui's potential to disrupt their fragile balance of power would be neutralized. Lin Xiaohua's fists clenched tightly, his frustration mounting. The elders had played their cards skillfully, leaving him no real choice. If he refused, Yi Hui would be executed without hesitation. Lin Xiaohua, Lin Maching's voice broke through his thoughts, cold and unyielding. Think carefully. If you agree, Yi Hui will drink the potion and leave for Binhai immediately. But remind him, no tricks. Should the Lin group's profits falter, or should he attempt sabotage, the antidote will not save him. The hall fell silent. The weight of the ultimatum bore down on Lin Xiaohua. When the meeting finally adjourned, the clock had struck 2 in the morning. Lin Xiaohua exited the council chamber, his steps heavy with fatigue. In his hand, he held a small vial of greenish liquid, the thrall potion. So, they want me to play the executioner, he muttered bitterly to himself. Though reluctant, Lin Xiaohua had agreed to their terms. There was no alternative if he wished to save Yi Hui's life. Now he was heading to the dungeon to deliver the potion personally. From this point forward, Yi Hui's existence would revolve around the clan's needs, his freedom and illusion. Unlike most in the Lin clan, Lin Xiaohua didn't see blood slaves as mere tools. To him, they were partners bound by mutual dependence. Perhaps his unconventional view is influenced by the modern trends of equality in human society. The idea of equality had planted seeds of doubt about the traditional master-slave dynamic. But Lin Xiaohua wasn't naive. As a vampire, he had no illusions about true equality. His existence thrived on human suffering. The blood he consumed, the wealth he amassed, all of it came at a cost. This was the nature of power, an endless cycle of oppression. The oppressed, given the chance, would inevitably become the oppressors. It's a cruel world, Xiaoye, Lin Xiaohua murmured, referring to Yi Hui by his old nickname. But this is all I can do for you. He thought of his family's precarious position within the clan. His father had died in war over a century ago, leaving his grandfather as the family's voice in the Elder Council. His great-grandfather, a ninth-generation vampire and one of the clan's strongest, was nearing the end of his life. If his great-grandfather could ascend to the rank of Count, his life might extend another millennium. But such a breakthrough was little more than a dream now. His strength had stagnated, and time was slipping away. When his great-grandfather passed, Lin Xiaohua's family would lose their most powerful protector. In a clan teeming with rivalries, their position would become even more tenuous. The weight of these tangled power struggles bore down on Lin Xiaohua, leaving him no room for idealism. By the time he reached the dungeon, the foul stench of rot and decay was almost overwhelming. The dungeon, located in the southeastern corner of the clan's estate, was rarely visited. Its oppressive air deterred most, and even Lin Xiaohua had only been here once before, centuries ago, when he served as a guard. The putrid smell intensified as he approached Yi Hui's cell. Inside, Yi Hui sat slumped against the wall, his expression hollow. The cell itself was little more than a crumbling enclosure, furnished with tattered mats and surrounded by rusting steel bars. Lin Xiaohua hesitated for a moment before stepping forward, quickening his pace. He wondered how Yi Hui would react to the news. Would he accept this poison reprieve? Or would he reject it, choosing death over a life of servitude? A thought crossed Lin Xiaohua's mind. Perhaps he could find Yi Hui a companion, someone to reignite his will to live. A female blood slave, or even a human partner, might give him hope. After all, even with the thrall potion's control, This life would be freer than the total suppression of a blood master. So long as Yi Hui fulfilled his duties and kept the Lin group thriving, he would only need to take the antidote every 3 months. As this idea took root, Lin Xiaohua's expression softened. With the guard's approval, he entered the dim corridor and descended further into the dungeon. When he reached Yi Hui's cell, the desolation in the man's eyes pierced him. "Xiaoye," Lin Xiaohua called softly, stepping closer. Chapter 51. Let me protect you. In the warm, softly lit hall of Lin Shiqing's home, Su Zhe sat motionless, his eyes closed as he savored a rare moment of peace. The deep wounds that once marred his back had mostly healed, leaving behind faint scars that bore witness to the ordeal he had endured. Behind him, Linwen stood, her brow furrowed in concern. Healing him had been no small feat. The effort had drained nearly half of her blood energy. Her pale complexion betrayed her exhaustion, though she did her best to maintain her composure. By contrast, Lin Shiqing's relief was palpable. A bright smile lit up her face as she watched Su Zhe stretch his newly healed body. Finally, Linwen murmured, her voice tinged with both fatigue and satisfaction. The faint crimson glow surrounding her hands dissipated as the healing process concluded. For Su Zhe, the experience was oddly comforting. The warmth that lingered from Lin Wen's healing touch reminded him of the soothing massages he had once enjoyed in his human days. A professional kind, of course, yet no less relaxing. Lin Wen, however, wasn't entirely at ease. Collapsing onto a nearby sofa, she wiped her brow and muttered, "That was harder than I expected. The toxins from those beasts have evolved. It shouldn't have taken this much blood energy to neutralize them." Her gaze flickered to Su Zhe as a troubling thought surfaced, but she quickly brushed it aside. "You've recovered well," she said after a moment, her voice steady once more. "But you still need rest. Go upstairs and get some sleep. The guest room on the right-hand side is ready for you." Su Zhe nodded, standing slowly. As he turned to thank Lin Wen, he couldn't help but notice the striking grace of her features. Her flushed cheeks, gleaming eyes, and soft yet resolute expression spoke of both strength and gentleness. He could see where Lin Shiqing had inherited her beauty. Lin Wen, sensing his gaze, brushed a hand over her face in mild discomfort. The massive expenditure of blood energy had left her feeling unsteady and empty. She would need to replenish her strength soon. "Thank you, Aunt Lin," Su Zhe said with a respectful nod. Lin Shiqing stepped forward, taking Su Zhe's hand with a cheerful smile. "I'll show you the way. My house is big. You might get lost if you go alone." As they ascended the staircase together, Su Zhe cast one last glance at Lin Wen. Her faint smile lingered, warm yet tinged with sadness, as if carrying unspoken burdens. What a gentle, perfect lady. But the softness in Lin Wen's eyes dimmed as the pair disappeared upstairs. She murmured to herself, "If you fall in love with a blood slave, Xiaoqing, your future will only grow harder." The second-floor corridor was dimly lit, its sconces casting a flickering glow across stone walls etched with intricate symbols. The air here felt different, older, imbued with a sense of ancient history. Lin Shiqing paused before a door near the end of the hall. "This is the guest room," she said, opening it with a slight creak. "It hasn't been used in a while, so it's a bit dusty. Let me change the bedding for you." The room was simple, yet elegant, though its neglected state was apparent. Dust coated the furniture and floors, dulling the room's once refined charm. Su Zhe hesitated. He recalled Lin Tai demonstrating how blood energy could be used for mundane tasks like cleaning. Gathering his focus, he attempted to summon the energy, but it slipped through his grasp, dissipating before it could take form. The faint red glow that appeared on his hands faded almost instantly. Lin Shiqing noticed his frustration and gave him a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, you'll master it with practice. Controlling blood energy takes time." Su Zhe frowned. "You make it sound easy, but that only makes me feel more useless." Lin Shiqing laughed softly, her expression warm. It's fine if you don't learn it in this lifetime. I can always do it for you. She winked playfully, adding, after all, I'll protect you. You saved me, remember? It's the least I can do. Her innocence and sincerity caught Su Zhe off guard. For a moment, his worries seemed to dissolve, replaced by an unfamiliar sense of peace. Returning with fresh bedding, Lin Shiqing waved her hand, and blood energy coalesced into a fine net. With practiced ease, she swept away the dust, leaving the room spotless. All done, she said, gesturing with a hint of pride. You can rest now. But Su Zhe shook his head. Despite his ordeal, he felt strangely energized. The healing warmth from Lin Wen's touch still lingered, leaving him alert and restless. I'm not tired, he admitted. After your mother healed me, I feel stronger, like I was never injured. Lin Shiqing tilted her head thoughtfully. Then what do you feel like doing? If you're not going to rest, you might as well tell me what's on your mind. Su Zhe hesitated. What did he want? The answer came to him almost immediately. Blood. His strength wasn't yet fully restored, and the reserves he had gained from Lin Tai's earlier elixirs were nearly depleted. If he wanted to regain control over his blood energy, he needed more. Do you have any blood at home? He asked casually. I'd like to drink some. Lin Shiqing raised an eyebrow, her lips curving into a teasing smile. Uncle Tai gave you plenty before. Are you really still craving it? I thought you'd be more reluctant to drink blood, but you're surprisingly eager now. Su Zhe shrugged lightly. It's not about craving. Drinking blood helps me recover faster, and it gives me more chances to practice controlling my energy. Lin Shiqing's smile softened. All right, let me see what we have. Wait here. I'll bring something for you. As she left the room, Su Zhe leaned against the wall, his thoughts churning. Though the vampire world had given him strength and resilience, it also demanded constant adaptation. He wasn't sure he was ready for what lay ahead, but for now, he allowed himself a moment of quiet reflection. Chapter 52, 99 Roses. In the western reaches of the Lin clan's vast territory, the air was thick with the faint, metallic tang of blood. This region was home to the famed West Blood Brewery, a place where the Lin clan had refined the art of enhancing blood for over a century. Using ancient techniques, the clan combined human blood with carefully cultivated herbs, purifying and enriching it into a potent elixir. This unique process not only enhanced the blood's vitality, but also made it safer and more nourishing for vampires to consume. The two key components, human blood and rare herbs, were always in abundant supply. The Lin clan maintained a large population of human slaves, each meticulously cared for and fed a special diet to ensure the highest quality of blood. Meanwhile, the rich land around Silver Moon Mountain provided an endless array of herbs, supplemented by the meticulously tended gardens within the clan's borders. It was from this brewery that Lin Shiqing procured a rare glass of the finest blood, a delicacy reserved for only the most esteemed members of the clan. Yet tonight, she chose to bring it to Su Zhe. Su Zhe was already hard at work when Lin Shiqing entered his room. He sat cross-legged on the wooden floor, a faint red glow emanating from his palms as he struggled to sustain the blood energy he summoned. The effort was evident in the tension on his face, but he was making progress. He could now maintain the energy for over 10 seconds. Lin Shiqing smiled softly, her admiration for him growing. Here, she said, holding out the glass. This is from the West Blood Brewery. It's the best blood we have. It should help you recover faster. Su Zhe accepted the glass with a grateful nod. Thank you, he said simply, though the sincerity in his tone was unmistakable. It's no trouble, she replied lightly. No one in my family drinks it anyway. What she didn't mention was that this particular blood was a treasure hoarded by her father, Lin Xiaohua. If he knew she had given it away so freely, there would certainly be consequences. Su Zhe inspected the glass, marveling at the liquid's clarity. It sparkled like a crimson gem, free of even the slightest impurity. He drank it in one swift motion. Warmth bloomed in his core, spreading through his body in a comforting wave. He could feel the blood merging with his own, fueling his strength and accelerating his recovery. Within moments, his blood energy surged to new heights, and the blood pill within him gleamed a brilliant, vibrant red. With Lin Shirqing's guidance, Su Zhe resumed his training. Together, they practiced manipulating the blood energy, refining his control over its power. The night wore on, and by the time the first light of dawn crept through the windows, Su Zhe had achieved a breakthrough. A stream of blood energy shot from his palm, arcing gracefully through the air before landing softly on Lin Shirqing's outstretched hand. She absorbed it effortlessly, her eyes wide with amazement. "I didn't expect you to improve so much in just one night," she said, clearly impressed. "You really have a gift for this." Su Zhe chuckled, wiping sweat from his brow. "It's probably because my mental power is strong. It helps me learn faster." His progress was undeniable. Though still a novice, he could now form small spheres of blood energy and even use it for simple tasks, such as enhancing his speed or tidying up his surroundings. But their quiet moment of accomplishment was interrupted by a sharp knock at the door. At the entrance stood Lin Xian, Lin Shirqing's betrothed. Tall and imposing, with sharp features and an air of quiet authority, Lin Xian carried himself with the confidence of someone accustomed to command. In his hands was a bouquet of 99 roses, their deep crimson petals glistening with dew. The roses were no ordinary gift. Among vampires, roses symbolized passion and devotion, and Lin Xian had carefully chosen each flower to honor his fiancée. Unaware of the dynamics within the household, Lin Xian had come alone, eager to meet Lin Shirqing. The upcoming marriage, arranged by the clan's council, was to be a grand union, and Lin Xian wanted to make a good impression. Inside, Lin Wen had just risen after a sleepless night. She had spent the hours keeping a watchful ear on Su Zhe's room, wary of any untoward developments between him and her daughter. Though reassured by the absence of inappropriate sounds, her unease lingered. When the knock came, she hurried to the door, expecting her husband's return. Instead, she found Lin Xian. "Lin Xian?" she asked, momentarily taken aback. Lin Wen recognized him immediately. A prominent figure within the clan, Lin Xian's reputation preceded him. She quickly composed herself, realizing the purpose of his visit. The roses in his hand left no doubt. He was here to see Lin Shirqing. "Ah, I see. Please come in," she said, stepping aside to let him enter. Her voice was polite, but tinged with apprehension. As Lin Xian crossed the threshold, Lin Wen's mind raced. She couldn't ignore the potential for conflict. Su Zhe was still in the house, and Lin Xian's presence would inevitably force a confrontation. How would Lin Shirqing react to her arranged fiancé, especially with Su Zhe now a significant part of her life? Swallowing her unease, Lin Wen called up the stairs. "Xiaoqing, could you come out for a moment? We have a guest." The air grew tense as Lin Xian stood in the foyer, the roses in his hands a stark contrast to the storm of emotions brewing unseen. Chapter 53, I Like You. "My mom's calling me. I'm going downstairs," Lin Shirqing said, turning toward the door after hearing her mother's voice echo through the house. Su Zhe gave a tired nod, his energy waning after a long night of practice. "All right. I've been training all night, so I'll rest now." With that, Lin Shirqing slipped out of the room, her steps light, but her mind uneasy. What could her mother want this early? Downstairs, Lin Xian sat across from Lin Wen, a practiced smile on his face. His demeanor was confident, almost self-assured to a fault. "Annie, you look incredibly youthful," Lin Xian said smoothly, his tone laced with flattery. Lin Wen chuckled, waving a hand dismissively. "Youthful? I'm nearly 500 years old. There's no youth left in me." "Not at all, Annie," Lin Xian pressed on, his smile unwavering. "You're like the clear spring waters of the Seine, gentle and elegant, timeless in your beauty." Lin Wen laughed awkwardly, caught off guard by the overly poetic comparison. "That's a bit much, don't you think?" she said, feeling a touch embarrassed by his theatrics. Before Lin Xian could reply, the sound of approaching footsteps drew his attention. He immediately stood, straightening his posture as if preparing for an important audience. Lin Shiqing appeared at the top of the staircase. As she descended, her sharp gaze immediately landed on the unfamiliar man standing in the hall. "Poetry," Lin Xian said, addressing her with an air of familiarity that only deepened her confusion. Her brow furrowed. Poetry? The nickname grated on her nerves, and as she assessed him, she couldn't help but draw an unflattering comparison to Su Zhe. Lin Xian's average height and unremarkable appearance paled next to Su Zhe's imposing stature and quiet strength. "Who are you?" Lin Shiqing asked bluntly, her tone cold. Lin Xian stepped forward, his smile undeterred. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lin Xian, your fiancé." The word hung in the air, heavy and unwelcome. "Fiancé." Lin Shiqing's frown deepened. "I've never heard of you." "It hasn't been officially announced yet," Lin Xian explained, undeterred by her icy reception. "But our engagement has already been arranged by the clan." He reached for the bouquet of 99 roses he had brought, presenting them to her with a flourish. "I handpicked these for you. I know not everyone appreciates roses, but I hope they convey my feelings." Lin Shiqing stared at the flowers, her lips pressed into a thin line. "Lin Xian, let me be clear," she said firmly. "I don't appreciate gestures like this from someone I've just met. It makes me uncomfortable." Lin Xian's confidence remained intact, misreading her words as shyness. "She's just being modest," he thought, his grin widening. "She'll warm up to me in time." Undeterred, he continued, his voice taking on an overly dramatic tone. "Even though we've just met, it feels like fate has drawn us together. Buddha says that 500 encounters in a past life lead to a connection in this one. Our bond is destiny, Shiqing. One day, we'll marry and have beautiful children. I eagerly await that day." Lin Shiqing's expression darkened. "Are you serious?" She nearly cringed at his words. The overly sentimental declaration felt cloying and insincere. If Su Zhe had said something similar, it might have moved her. Coming from Lin Xian, it only made her stomach turn. Sensing her daughter's growing discomfort, Lin Wen quickly intervened. "Xiaoqing hasn't been feeling well lately," she said, standing. "It would be best if you left for now." Lin Xian hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. "If meeting you is all I accomplished today, then I consider it a success," he said, still holding the roses. He extended the bouquet toward Lin Shiqing again. "I don't want them," she said flatly, stepping back. Lin Xian paused, a knowing smile creeping onto his face. "She's just being modest again," he thought, placing the flowers on the coffee table. "Then I won't disturb you further." "Goodbye, poetry," he said, his voice dripping with misplaced charm. As soon as the door closed behind him, Lin Shiqing turned to her mother, exasperated. "Mom, what is going on?" Lin Vin sighed. "The clan has started arranging marriages for the younger generation, and Lin Xian comes from a prominent family. His grandfather, Lin Yuntian, is one of the most respected figures in the clan. A union with their lineage would be a strong match for us." "Strong match," Lin Shiqing repeated, her voice rising. "He's insufferable, ordinary, self-righteous, and completely unremarkable." "Xiaoqing," Lin Wen said gently, "arranged marriages aren't uncommon in our clan. Your father and I didn't choose each other at first, but we made it work because our bloodlines were compatible. If you truly dislike Lin Xian, perhaps there's someone else in the clan you'd prefer." Lin Shiqing opened her mouth to argue but stopped short. Her thoughts drifted unbidden to Su Zhe. Her heart fluttered at the memory of his quiet determination, his unwavering gaze. But no, that wasn't love, just admiration, right? She pushed the thought aside, her cheeks flushing. "I'm not ready for marriage, Mom. I don't want to be rushed into this." Without waiting for a reply, Lin Shiqing hurried upstairs, her thoughts a tangled mess. In his room, Su Zhe had overheard the entire exchange with his heightened senses. When Lin Shiqing stormed in, her face flushed with irritation, He glanced up from where he sat. "I'm so pissed off," she blurted, pacing the room. "That Lin Xian is infuriating." She recounted the encounter in detail, her annoyance palpable. "What, you don't like him?" Su Zhe asked with a teasing smile. "I don't like self-righteous people," she snapped. "Then what do you like?" he asked, his voice soft but curious. Lin Shiqing froze, her mind racing. The words tumbled out before she could stop them. "I like you." The room fell silent. Realizing what she had just said, Lin Shiqing's face turned crimson. She quickly looked away, flustered, while Su Zhe's eyes widened in surprise. For a moment, neither spoke, the unspoken tension hanging in the air between them. Chapter 54. A new partner for Yi Hui. By noon, Lin Xiaohua and Yi Hui had returned home. The air felt lighter, yet the weight of recent decisions lingered between them. Yi Hui had chosen to drink the thrall potion, a choice that solidified his loyalty to the Lin clan and secured his role in managing the Lin group. This decision was pivotal, binding him more deeply to the family, but Lin Xiaohua had resolved to ensure Yi Hui didn't feel abandoned. To ease this transition, Lin Xiaohua began arranging for Yi Hui to have a partner, a companion who could provide both support and solace. He reached out to several female blood slaves within the clan, selecting candidates based on compatibility and potential chemistry. One name stood out, Bai Ying, a striking beauty with refined manners. Bai Ying was a 370-year-old blood slave of pure lineage. Her vampiric strength at the 4th level spoke of discipline and dedication, while her reputation for intelligence and charm preceded her. Moreover, her blood master, Lin Feng, had long been an ally to Lin Xiaohua, making the arrangement both personal and practical. Lin Xiaohua wasted no time finalizing plans for Bai Ying to accompany Yi Hui to Binhai. When they arrived home, Lin Xiaohua called out Xiaowen. Lin Wen emerged, her gaze shifting to Yi Hui. "Yi Hui, you're back." He offered her a weary but genuine smile. "Madam, it's good to see you." "What's going on?" Lin Wen asked, her voice tinged with confusion. "Wasn't Yi Hui sentenced to death? How is he here now?" Lin Xiaohua explained calmly. The Presbyterian Council granted him clemency, but only after he drank the thrall potion. It binds him to serve the family without question. Lin Wen's expression softened. "Yi Hui, you've endured so much." Yi Hui shook his head humbly. "I'm grateful just to be alive. Many in my position aren't given this second chance." Lin Xiaohua nodded. "And now I want to help you rebuild. I've arranged for someone to assist you in Binhai. She'll be your partner, both in life and work." Yi Hui blinked in surprise. "A partner? That's unexpected. But thank you." Before Lin Xiaohua could elaborate, a soft knock sounded at the door. Lin Xiaohua opened it to reveal Bai Ying, whose presence immediately lit up the room. She stood tall and elegant, her poised demeanor accompanied by a warm smile. "Bai Ying," Lin Xiaohua greeted her warmly. "It's an honor to finally meet you in person. Lin Feng spoke highly of you, and now I see why." Bai Ying returned the smile, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "The honor is mine, Brother Hua. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve alongside Yi Hui." Lin Xiaohua gestured for her to enter. "Come in. Yi Hui is waiting to meet you." Yi Hui rose to his feet as Bai Ying entered. His composure faltered slightly. He hadn't expected his new partner to be so striking. "Yi Hui," Lin Xiaohua said, gesturing toward him, "this is Bai Ying. She'll be accompanying you to Binhai." Bai Ying extended her hand, her voice light yet confident. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Yi Hui." Yi Hui hesitated before shaking her hand, her touch warm against his cool palm. "Likewise. I'm honored." Lin Wen observed the exchange with quiet curiosity, noting the faint pink that crept into Yi Hui's cheeks. "Why don't you two get to know each other better?" Lin Xiaohua suggested. "You'll have plenty to discuss before heading to Binhai." Bai Ying smiled, sensing Yi Hui's unease. "You don't need to be so formal," she teased gently. "We'll be working together closely, No need for awkward silences. Yi Hui chuckled nervously. I'll try to keep that in mind. Bai Ying tilted her head playfully. You know, you remind me of Wu Yanzhu. Wu Yanzhu? Yi Hui repeated, puzzled. She nodded, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Your nose, your eyebrows. You've got that brooding charm he's famous for. Yi Hui laughed, the tension in his shoulders easing. That's the first time anyone said that. I'm not sure I can live up to such praise. You're doing fine so far, Bai Ying replied with a wink. Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen watched from the sidelines, their conversation hushed. She's perfect, Lin Wen remarked softly. Confident, kind, and capable. That's why I chose her, Lin Xiaohua replied. Yi Hui deserves someone who can match his strength and support his goals. Bai Ying is exactly that. Lin Wen nodded in agreement. Let's hope this is the beginning of something good for both of them. As the two shared a quiet moment of satisfaction, Yi Hui and Bai Ying continued their conversation, the awkwardness of their initial meeting melting into easy banter. For Yi Hui, this marked the start of a new chapter, a chance not only to rebuild his life, but also to explore the possibility of something more. Chapter 55, Give Me the Good Stuff. With Yi Hui's future secured, Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen finally had a moment of quiet in their adjoining bedroom. But Lin Wen's mind was far from at ease. I think Xiaoqing and Su Zhe's relationship is evolving, she began, her tone laden with concern. They might already be in love. Lin Xiaohua looked up sharply. What? Xiaoqing and Su Zhe? I thought they were just friends, a master-servant bond at most. When did love come into this? Lin Wen sighed, folding her arms. This morning, Lin Xian came by with 99 roses for her. He's her betrothed, yet she barely acknowledged him. It's clear her feelings for him are non-existent. She hesitated before continuing. And last night, Xiaoqing and Su Zhe spent the entire night in the same room. Lin Xiaohua's brows furrowed deeply. What? Alone? You should have stopped that. I thought about it, Lin Wen replied, her voice calm but firm. But nothing improper happened. I stayed nearby and heard them working on blood energy control. Su Zhe's still learning to manage his power. That's all it was. Lin Xiaohua exhaled slowly, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. But Lin Wen wasn't finished. It's not just last night, she said, her expression softening. It's how Xiaoqing looks at him, like he's the only one she sees. I'm worried. Falling for a blood servant. It's not a simple path. Lin Xiaohua rubbed his temples. He'd always detested indecisive people, but Su Zhe wasn't weak. The young man had proven his courage time and again. Still, this budding relationship was fraught with complications. That afternoon, the household bustled with activity as the group prepared to leave for Banhai. Lin Xiaohua, Lin Wen, Yi Hui, Bai Ying, Su Zhe, and Lin Shiqing were all packed and ready. Before they departed, Yi Hui made a call to Zhou Xueming, his longtime assistant, to check on the villa arrangements. The reconstruction's still underway, Zhou Xueming informed him. But I've secured another property, a former Lin Group asset near the eastern side of Banhai. It's been cleaned and is ready for you. Yi Hui inspected the replacement villa later that day. The sprawling 1,000 square meter estate was more than satisfactory, with 8 spacious rooms and modern amenities. Zhou Xueming's efficiency impressed him yet again. He made a mental note to reward her with a raise once everything settled. The group arrived at the new villa the next morning after a grueling journey. Delays across various modes of transportation had left them drained, but the sight of the elegant property lifted their spirits. Zhou Xueming had even arranged for 3 nannies to handle the housework, ensuring everyone's needs were met. Room assignments followed swiftly. Su Zhe and Lin Shiqing claimed adjacent rooms on the first floor. Yi Hui and Bai Ying settled on the opposite side, and Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen took a suite on the second floor. Lin Xiaohua raised an eyebrow at Su Zhe and Lin Shiqing's proximity, but after persistent persuasion from his daughter, he reluctantly conceded. Once the unpacking was done, Yi Hui and Bai Ying left to oversee Lin Group business at the nearby office. Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen planned to visit their old villa to retrieve personal belongings, leaving Su Zhe, Lin Shiqing, and her pet spider, Xiaofan, alone in the sprawling house. Xiaofan, a peculiar but loyal creature, had been entrusted to Zhou Xueming during the move. Though the assistant had braved the responsibility, she was visibly relieved to return the spider to Lin Shiqing. With the house now quiet, Lin Shiqing and Su Zhe found themselves with rare privacy. Lin Xiaohua had sent several crates of finely brewed blood to the villa to replenish their supplies. While vampires could sustain themselves on ordinary blood, this premium brew enhanced their strength and vitality. Su Zhe, still adapting to his new life as a supposed blood servant, had to remain in his vampire form while others were around. But with just him and Lin Shiqing around, he transformed to his human form so that she could feed. The process was intricate, requiring a ritual to temporarily restore his beating heart and warm blood. As his transformation completed, Su Zhe's body temperature normalized, and he turned to Lin Shiqing, his gaze steady. "Ready?" she asked softly. He nodded. "Let's begin." The process was familiar, but no less exhilarating for Su Zhe. Lin Shiqing leaned closer, her movements precise and controlled, as she fed on his blood. The sensation was intense, a mingling of power and vulnerability that left him breathless. But as the ritual concluded, Su Zhe's thoughts were elsewhere, focused on the upcoming lottery draw. Standing before the screen, he took a deep breath and prepared to click the button. Lin Shiqing, watching from the corner of the room, smiled encouragingly. "Something good this time," she said, her tone light. With a grin, Su Zhe tapped the button, muttering under his breath, "Give me the good stuff." The screen spun, symbols flashing past in a blur. Both of them leaned closer in anticipation, hearts racing as they waited for the result. And so, another chapter unfolded, one filled with quiet moments, looming challenges, and the promise of new opportunities. Chapter 56, Strength Reforged. Su Zhe stared at the golden glow emanating from the system's interface, his heart pounding with anticipation. Golden light. This had to be good. In the past, he'd only seen this brilliance twice, both times yielding extraordinary abilities. Transform into a vampire, and time stop. The thought of such immense power made his excitement mount. The system's notification chimed in his mind. Ding! Congratulations, host, on obtaining all attributes plus 50. 50! Su Zhe's jaw dropped, his disbelief quickly giving way to exhilaration. But the elation was short-lived. A searing pain suddenly tore through his body, sharp and all-consuming. He crumpled onto the bed, clutching his sides as though his insides were being ripped apart. "Why does it hurt so much?" he groaned, his voice strained as he curled into himself like a cornered animal. The agony wasn't new. He'd felt it before during attribute enhancements, but this was on an entirely different level. It was as though every cell in his body was being violently dismantled and reforged. His muscles contracted and expanded in rapid bursts. His bones creaked under the strain of sudden reinforcement. By the time his body began to stabilize, Su Zhe's physical attributes had skyrocketed past the limits of ordinary human capability. His strength was now immeasurable. A single punch could shatter concrete walls or obliterate steel plates. His speed was a blur, his reflexes honed to razor precision. But this raw power came at a cost. A sickly, noxious smell began to fill the room. Lin Shiqing, sitting nearby, recoiled instinctively but forced herself to stay close. "Su Zhe, what's happening to you?" she asked, her voice trembling with concern. "Impurities," he managed to rasp, barely able to speak through the pain. "They're being forced out. Fill the bathtub with cold water. Now!" Lin Shiqing didn't hesitate. She dashed to the bathroom, turning on the faucet and letting the tub fill. Moments later, she returned to Su Zhe's side and hoisted him into her arms despite the grime coating his body. The black sludge oozing from his pores clung to her as she helped him into the bathroom. The sight was revolting, but Lin Shiqing's focus never wavered. She gently lowered Su Zhe into the tub, grimacing as the water turned an inky black almost instantly. As his body made contact with the cool water, Su Zhe let out a long, relieved sigh. The intense pain began to fade, replaced by a soothing calm. Lin Shiqing knelt beside the tub, her worry still evident. "Is it over?" she asked softly. "Almost," Su Zhe said, managing a weak smile. "The worst is behind me." For the next hour, Su Zhe soaked in the tub, letting the impurities flush away as his body adjusted to its newfound power. Lin Shiqing stayed by his side, her presence a silent reassurance. When Su Zhe finally emerged, the transformation was complete. His muscles were more defined, his posture more upright, and his aura brimming with confidence. "I survived," he said, grinning as he stretched. "And now, I'm stronger than ever." Lin Shiqing smiled, relief washing over her. But the moment was short-lived as the lingering stench hit her nose again. "You stink," she said bluntly, wrinkling her nose. Su Zhe raised an eyebrow, teasing, "I stink, but you still hugged." She rolled her eyes, though her cheeks flushed pink. "I did, but don't think for a second you're off the hook. You're taking a proper shower." "Well," Su Zhe said with a mischievous grin, "if you're so concerned, how about a mandarin duck bath? You know, to save water." Lin Shiqing froze, her face turning crimson. Without hesitation, she smacked his arm lightly. "You're unbelievable." Chuckling, Su Zhe leaned back against the tub. "It was just a suggestion." Lin Shiqing shot him a glare, though there was a hint of amusement in her eyes. "You got guts saying things like that after what you just put me through." She stood abruptly, brushing off the black residue on her clothes. "I'm showering first, and don't even think about peeking." "Wouldn't dream of it," Su Zhe said innocently, though a playful smirk tugged at his lips. Once she was gone, Su Zhe let the clean water run, scrubbing away the last remnants of the impurities. With each movement, he felt the surge of his newfound strength, a potent blend of power and agility that made him feel invincible. As he dried off, Su Zhe opened his attributes panel to take stock. Host Su Zhe. Strength 101. Spirit 103. Speed 102. Defense 99. Skills. Time stop, transform into a vampire. The numbers on the screen were more than just data. They were proof of his evolution. For the first time in a long while, Su Zhe felt unstoppable. Chapter 57, Subtle Glances and Hidden Intentions. Having arrived at the Lin Group headquarters, Yihui stepped out of the car, and the familiar figure of Zhou Xueming greeted him with a warm smile at the building's entrance. "Mr. Yi, you're finally back," she said, her voice tinged with relief. For the past few days, Zhou Xueming had managed the company in Yi Hui's absence. Though competent, she often felt the weight of the responsibilities without his steady presence. The quiet office had only amplified how much she missed his guidance. Yi Hui smiled appreciatively. "Xiao Zhou, thank you for holding things together while I recovered. You've done well." He did feel much better now, thanks in no small part to Bai Ying, whose care and company had eased the lingering shadows of his past. Even the effects of the thrall's potion had diminished, as long as he continued the antidote regimen. As Bai Ying stepped out of the car beside him, her striking beauty immediately turned heads. Her porcelain skin, delicate features, and graceful demeanor made her impossible to ignore. Zhou Xueming's eyes widened slightly at the sight of her, caught off guard. "Mr. Yi, who is this?" "This is Miss Bai Ying," Yi Hui introduced smoothly. "She'll be our new vice president and will assist me in managing the company." On the drive over, Yi Hui had briefed Bai Ying about Zhou Xueming's role and capabilities. Now, Bai Ying offered a polite smile, extending a hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you. I look forward to working with you." Zhou Xueming hesitated for a moment before shaking her hand. "Welcome, Miss Bai." But even as she spoke, an inexplicable emptiness crept into her chest. A fleeting thought crossed her mind. Could she be his wife? Still, she pushed the notion aside, straightened her posture, and led the way into the building, her voice professional. Mr. Yi, Miss Bai, the company has been running smoothly in your absence. However, there are a few updates I'd like to discuss: the West Side Community Renovation Project and the sales performance of Kongshin Homes. As they rode the elevator to the top floor, Zhou Xueming delivered her report with practiced precision. Yet, she couldn't help glancing at Bai Ying occasionally, searching for clues about her sudden arrival. When they reached the office, Yi Hui nodded in approval. Good work, Xiao Zhou. Continue as you've been doing. I trust your judgment. Zhou Xueming flushed slightly at the praise. Thank you, Mr. Yi, she said softly, tucking a stray lock of hair behind her ear. After she left to resume her tasks, Yi Hui turned to Bai Ying, who was sipping a burnt ambrosia latte, an indulgence she could enjoy freely as a vampire, unburdened by mortal concerns like calories. Bai Ying's eyes sparkled mischievously as she set her cup down. First day here, and I've already noticed something interesting. Yi Hui raised an eyebrow. What's that? That girl, Zhou Xueming, Bai Ying said with a knowing smile. She might have feelings for you. Yi Hui blinked, caught off guard. What? Bai Ying leaned closer, her grin revealing a hint of her sharp teeth. You men can be so clueless. Didn't you see the way she was looking at me? There was a flicker of jealousy in her eyes. Yi Hui shook his head, dismissing the notion. Xiao Zhou and I have worked together for years. I helped her join the company after she graduated from the University of Finance and Economics. She sees me as a mentor, nothing more. Bai Ying tilted her head, her expression teasing. Oh, Yi Hui, you underestimate how little filters mentorship leaves when it comes to powerful men like you. Presidents have a way of inspiring admiration. Sighing, Yi Hui leaned back in his chair. Even if you're right, it doesn't matter. You know as well as I do that my life isn't exactly normal anymore. Human attachments are. He paused, searching for the words. Complicated. Bai Ying smirked. True, but if the master desires, no complication is insurmountable. She leaned in, her face mere inches from his, her playful tone belying the intensity in her gaze. Speaking of attachments, when are we tying the knot? Caught off guard, Yi Hui coughed awkwardly and quickly looked away. Ahem, let's focus on work. Bai Ying laughed, her voice like a soft melody. Ah, deflection. I'll let you off the hook for now. Shilin Villa. Meanwhile, Lin Xiaohua and his wife, Lin Wen, arrived at the ruined villa, greeted by Chen Guangxing, the head of the restoration team. Mr. Lin, Mrs. Lin, Chen said, bowing politely. Welcome. Lin Xiaohua nodded curtly. How much of the villa is salvageable? Chen hesitated before replying. About a third, sir. Much of the structure has collapsed, but we've managed to preserve several items stored in cabinets. Larger pieces were not so fortunate. His voice faltered slightly as he recalled the strange items they'd uncovered: coffins, bottles of blood. He had no idea if the blood was animal or human, but he knew better than to ask. Lin Xiaohua's expression darkened as he surveyed the damage. The vampire attack that nearly claimed his daughter's life was a stark reminder of the dangers they now faced. Send the salvaged items to this address, Lin Xiaohua ordered, handing over a slip of paper. And complete the villa repairs as quickly as possible. 1 month. Chun hesitated, knowing the time frame was ambitious, but nodded regardless. Understood, Mr. Lin. We'll do our best. As Chun returned to his team, Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen stood silently, their gazes lingering on the ruins. The events of recent days had shaken their family to its core, but they resolved to rebuild stronger and more prepared for what lay ahead. Chapter 58. You're definitely a tiger. Su Zhe stepped out of the shower, the warmth of the water giving way to the cool caress of the air as he wrapped a towel around himself. The power thrumming through his body felt electric. Doubling his attribute points had wrought a profound transformation, and he marveled at the newfound strength coursing through his veins. As he dried off, his thoughts turned to the last vampire he had faced. How did his current strength, with an average of 100 attribute points, compare to that foe's? The intricacies of vampire hierarchy still eluded him. Lin Shiqing had once explained the system. The levels of vampires were symbolized by celestial phases. Lower levels were marked by waning moons, while the apex was represented by a new moon. Determined to gauge his progress, Su Zhe closed his eyes and activated his transform into a vampire skill. The transformation began in an instant. His fangs elongated, his heartbeat halted, and his blood thickened. His skin turned a pale, ethereal white, and a faint crimson hue ignited in his pupils. He focused inward, directing his consciousness toward the blood elixir nestled in his lower abdomen. There it was, a luminous, blood-red sphere pulsating with energy. Above it floated 3 waning moons, their glow steady yet faint. The third level, Su Zhe murmured, a satisfied smile tugging at his lips. The fourth new moon had yet to form, signaling he was still in the early stages of the third level. Reflecting on his progress, Su Zhe noted a pattern. Every 50-point increase in attributes seemed to align with a new vampire level. By this logic, surpassing 150 points might elevate him to the 4th level. However, he knew the climb would grow steeper with each tier. Optimism tempered his resolve. With Lin Shiqing's support and the occasional stroke of luck from system rewards, he felt confident in his ability to rise further. Memories of bowing to stronger adversaries like Lin Xiaohua and the Western vampires still burned in his mind. He vowed to never feel so helpless again. Meanwhile, in the adjacent bathroom, Lin Shiqing was deep in thought as she dried off. A strange warmth coursed through her, intensifying ever since she had drunk Su Zhe's blood. Closing her eyes, she concentrated on her own blood elixir. To her astonishment, the once static 3 waning moons began to shift. The new moon that had resisted completion for decades now shimmered, forming into a 4th waning moon. A breakthrough. Joy flooded her as realization struck. She had advanced to the 4th level. Decades of stagnation, erased in mere weeks, all thanks to Su Zhe's extraordinary blood. Eager to share her news, she stepped out of the bathroom, only to pause. Her sharpened senses detected the aura of another 3rd-level vampire nearby. Alarm flared in her chest. Quickly donning a robe, Lin Shiqing burst into the hallway, her blood energy surging to form a crimson blade in her hand. The presence was too close and potentially dangerous. Inside his room, Su Zhe lounged on the bed, reviewing his stats and plotting his next steps when the door suddenly slammed open. Die! Lin Shiqing's voice was a fierce roar as she lunged, her blood blade slicing through the air toward his heart. Startled, Su Zhe barely managed to activate his time-stop skill, freezing the world around him. He sidestepped her attack, watching in disbelief as her blade crashed into the glass behind him, scattering shards everywhere. "What the hell?" Su Zhe exclaimed, his voice a mix of outrage and incredulity. Lin Shiqing froze, realization dawning. "Su Zhe, I thought there was an intruder." He sighed, raking a hand through his damp hair. "If I didn't have my time-stop ability, I'd be a bloody pancake right now." "I'm so sorry," she said, her tone earnest. Su Zhe chuckled, his frustration dissipating. "Don't worry about it. Just maybe knock next time, Tiger?" He reached out, ruffling her hair playfully. "Tiger?" Lin Shiqing crossed her arms, arching a brow. "That's what you're going with?" "Yup," he said with a grin. "You charged in claws first. But I'll let it slide this time." Lin Shiqing's lips twitched upward despite herself. Tilting her head, she studied him. "Wait, you're already at the 3rd level?" "Of course," Su Zhe replied smugly. "I'm awesome, remember?" "Impressive," she admitted. "Your system is remarkable. To think you've reached the 3rd level so quickly." As Su Zhe basked in her admiration, a familiar mechanical voice echoed in his mind. "Ding! Lin Shiqing admires the host. The system is very pleased and rewards the host with a 20-point increase in all attributes." Su Zhe's grin widened. "Oh, you have no idea just how awesome I am." Lin Shiqing arched an eyebrow, unimpressed by his cocky tone. Try not to let it go to your head, tiger. He laughed, the tension between them melting into lighthearted banter. Chapter 59. A gentle kiss and a moment of peace. Su Zhe's spirits lifted as the system rewarded him with an unexpected 20-point boost to his attributes. The improvement was substantial, equivalent to nearly half a realm's progress, a feat that would ordinarily take years for a vampire to achieve. This time, the accompanying pain was manageable, far less severe than before. However, the enhancement came with an unpleasant side effect. A pungent stench wafted from his body as black impurities seeped out of his pores, though in smaller amounts than during previous breakthroughs. He had learned that any attribute increase exceeding 10 triggered this process. Though it was messy, it was a necessary step toward evolution. "Why do you smell bad again?" Lin Shiqing asked, wrinkling her nose in distaste as she caught the odor. "I leveled up," Su Zhe explained with a resigned sigh. "This is just my body expelling impurities. Trust me, it's as annoying for me as it is for you." He grabbed a fresh set of clothes and headed for the bathroom to clean up once more. As he prepared for another shower, Lin Shiqing, who had been watching from the doorway, asked curiously, "Since your strength improved, does that mean your blood's quality has improved too?" Su Zhe paused mid-step and nodded. "Yeah, the better my physique, the better my blood becomes." Lin Shiqing's curiosity grew. She wondered just how potent his blood had become, but decided to shelve the thought for later. The current smell of impurities clinging to him was still unbearable. After his shower, Su Zhe discarded 2 sets of clothes stained by the expelled impurities. The foul odor made them beyond salvageable. With his newfound wealth, a little over $1 million in his bank account, he could afford to be wasteful. He chuckled at the thought of the suicide note he had once prepared before venturing into the vampire tribe. That felt like a lifetime ago. Smiling, he deleted the note from his files. As Su Zhe stepped out of the bathroom, he spotted Lin Shiqing sitting on the edge of his bed, a playful smile on her face. "What are you doing here?" he asked, surprised. "Just checking on you," Lin Shiqing replied, her tone light. "Still hungry?" he teased, raising an eyebrow. Her gaze softened, her crimson eyes glowing faintly. The scent of his blood had grown richer and more intoxicating. "I've used up a lot of energy after my breakthrough. I could use a refill." Su Zhe chuckled and stretched out on the bed, adopting an exaggeratedly dramatic pose. "All right, as long as you're gentle this time." Lin Shiqing laughed, amused by his antics. She leaned closer, her fangs gleaming faintly as she drew his blood. Su Zhe felt the familiar pull of energy leaving his body, though it was far less draining than before. The process felt almost comforting now. He could sense his blood elixir growing stronger, edging closer to the peak of the 3rd-level vampire. Eventually, Lin Shiqing's hunger subsided. She rested her head on the bed beside him, her breathing soft and even. Exhaustion overtook her, and she drifted off to sleep. Su Zhe watched her quietly, his heart swelling with affection. On impulse, he leaned over and placed a gentle kiss on her cheek. Her skin was soft and warm under his lips, and he found himself leaning in to kiss her forehead as well. A strange mixture of guilt and joy settled in his chest, the sensation lingering as he pulled back. He smiled to himself, feeling a rare, unguarded warmth. It was strange to him, this sense of connection, especially after the coldness of his past relationships. A bitter memory of his ex-girlfriend, Su Zhe, flickered through his mind. Her opportunistic nature and selfish demands had left a sour taste in his life. The purity and sincerity he felt now with Lin Shiqing was a stark contrast. Reaching out, he gently brushed a stray strand of hair from her face. Her delicate eyelashes fluttered slightly, but she remained asleep. Su Zhe kissed her forehead again and whispered softly, "Meeting you has been the greatest blessing." Lin Shiqing's breathing remained steady, her peaceful expression unchanging. Su Zhe allowed himself to relax, savoring the tranquility of the moment. For the first time in what felt like forever, he felt a sense of peace, as if the wounds of his past were beginning to heal. Chapter 60. You didn't do anything unspeakable, right? As Su Zhe reflected on his thoughts, hurried footsteps echoed down the hallway, accompanied by distinct fluctuations of blood energy. The intensity of these waves could only mean one thing: Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen had returned. A chill ran through Su Zhe as he realized the precarious situation he was in. If Lin Xiaohua entered the room and found Lin Shiqing here, it would undoubtedly lead to trouble. His heart sank. "This is bad," he muttered. "I didn't expect them back so soon." Lin Xiaohua's blood energy radiated with unrestrained power, a stark contrast to his usual composure when among humans. The overwhelming pressure was a stark reminder of the vast gap in strength between them. The heavy footsteps drew closer, and Su Zhe braced himself. There was no undoing the situation now. He had to face it head-on. Straightening his clothes and steeling his resolve, he opened the door. Lin Xiaohua and Lin Wen stood before him, fresh from their return to Shilin Villa. Lin Xiaohua's sharp gaze immediately locked onto Su Zhe. "Why is Xiaoqing in your room? What happened here?" Su Zhe quickly composed himself. "Nothing happened. She's just resting. She probably needed sleep after the blood energy consumption." Lin Xiaohua's eyes narrowed. Suspicion etched across his face. "You're certain you didn't do anything with her?" Lin Wen smirked, interjecting with a teasing tone. "You didn't do anything unspeakable, did you?" Su Zhe shook his head firmly. "Of course not." Inwardly, he added, "I only kissed her cheek and forehead, hardly unspeakable." Lin Xiaohua's piercing gaze lingered for a moment longer, his supernatural senses probing for deceit. Finding none, he relented slightly. "I'll trust you for now, but remember your place. Xiaoqing is your superior, not your equal." Su Zhe nodded, his expression resolute. "Understood." Satisfied for the moment, Lin Xiaohua gestured for him to leave. "Go rest in another room. When Xiaoqing wakes, you can return to your own." Su Zhe left, relieved the situation hadn't escalated further. As he settled into another room, he couldn't help but reflect on Lin Xiaohua's words. One day, he vowed the dynamic would shift. With enough strength, he would claim his place beside Lin Shiqing as an equal. The next day, sunlight filtered weakly through heavy curtains as Su Zhe prepared for another day. Lin Shiqing had mentioned going to the library, though she hadn't explained why. Still, Su Zhe agreed to accompany her. She seemed in high spirits, refreshed from her rest. Su Zhe's prolonged absence from school had raised questions among his classmates, especially his friend Zhang Zilin, who had messaged him repeatedly. Su Zhe, offering only vague explanations, couldn't possibly reveal the truth about his vampiric transformation and mysterious system. Downstairs, the dining room was shrouded in dim light, the thick black curtains keeping the daylight at bay. Flickering candlelight cast an eerie glow over the room. Su Zhe joined Lin Shiqing, Lin Xiaohua, Lin Wen, Yi Hui, and Bai Ying at the table. Goblets filled with fresh blood were arranged neatly before them. Lin Wen handed Lin Shiqing a glass of the highest quality blood. "This batch is exceptionally fresh. You should try it." Lin Shiqing took a sip and nodded appreciatively. "It's delicious." She finished 2 glasses in quick succession, savoring the rich flavor. Yi Hui emerged from the kitchen with a cream cheesecake, freshly baked with by Ying's help. "We made this together," Yi Hui said, offering the dessert with a smile. "Bai Ying deserves most of the credit." "Thank you, Uncle Yi." Lin Shiqing beamed, delighted by the treat. She took a slice and savored the sweetness. Bai Ying watched Lin Shiqing's enjoyment with a warm smile. She and Yi Hui had spent the afternoon baking, an activity that had brought them closer. Lin Xiaohua observed the interaction, his stern demeanor softening as a faint smile crossed his lips. Lin Wen, equally pleased, began envisioning a potential match between Yi Hui and Bai Ying. For the first time in a while, the household seemed to find a moment of harmony.
That brings this part of the story to a close. Thank you for listening to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please like the video and leave a comment with your suggestions. They are invaluable for improving the content. If you'd like to follow the story, remember to subscribe. This story is complete and spans 720 chapters, with new videos being released on a regular schedule.